Hello everyone. Here we are group 2. I would like to present you today's topic, which is professional ethics. To know more the detail of it, first let me introduce a member of the group. There are Fadilur Rahman, Nelson Souza, and me, Maria Wong. The learning objectives that we learn in this topic are as follows. First, distinguish ethical from unethical behavior in personal context. Second, resolve ethical dilemmas using an ethical framework. Third, explain the importance of ethical conduct for the accounting profession. Fourth, describe the purpose and content of the AICPA Code of Professional Conduct. Fifth, understand Sarbanes-Oxley Act and other CEC and PCAOB independence requirements and additional factors that influence auditor independence. Six, apply the AICPA code rules and interpretation on independence and explain their importance. Seven, understand the requirements of other rules under the AICPA code. And the last one is describe the enforcement mechanism for the rules of conduct. The first, distinguish ethical from unethical behavior in personal and professional context. So, the first one we will see is what are ethics? Ethics can be defined broadly as a set of moral principles of values. So each of us has such a set of values, although we may or may not have considered them explicitly. Need for ethics. Ethical behavior is necessary for a society to function in an orderly manner. The need for ethics in society is sufficiently important that many commonly held ethical values are incorporated into law. Why people act unethically? The person's ethical standards are different from those of society as a whole. The person chooses to act selfishly, senses both reason exist. They prescribe ethical principles, examples such as trustworthiness, respect, responsibility, fairness, caring, and sufficiency. A person's ethical standards differ from general society. Most people who commit such acts feel no remorse when they are apprehended because their ethical standards differ from those of society as a whole. And we can call them as embezzlers, con artists, and shoplifters. A person chooses to act selfishly, example. Here, there are person A and person B. And person A finds a briefcase containing important papers and $1,000,000. $1,000. He tosses the briefcase and keeps the money. He brags to his friends about his good fortune, and this action probably differs from most of society. And person B faces the same situation but responds differently. He keeps the money but leaves the briefcase. He tells nobody and spends the money. He has violated his own ethical standards and chooses to act selfishly. In the second LO is resolve ethical dilemmas using an ethical framework. The ethical dilemma is a situation a person faces in which a decision must be made about appropriate behavior. The rationalizing unethical behavior is everybody does it. If it's illegal, it's ethical. Likelihood of discovery and consequences. To resolve ethical dilemmas, there is 6 steps. First, obtain the relevant facts. Second, identify the ethical issues from the facts. Determine who is affected. Identify the alternatives available to the person who must resolve the dilemma. Identify the likely consequence of each alternative. And decide the appropriate action. Ethical dilemma in the relevant fact as we used to face in the real life is a staff person has been informed that he will work hours without recording them as hours worked. Foreign policy prohibits this practice, and another staff person has stated that this is common practice in the firm. Ethical issue is it ethical for the staff person to work hours and not record them as hours worked in this situation? Who is affected? How are they affected? What alternatives does the staff person have? Next will be explained by Fadiluk. The time is yours.
Explain the importance of ethical conduct for the accounting profession. Special need for ethical conduct in profession or society has attached a special meaning to the term professional. A professional is expected to conduct himself or herself at a higher level than the most other member of society. The term of professional means a responsibility for conduct that extend beyond satisfying individual responsibilities and beyond the requirement of our society laws and regulation. So for the CPI encouraged to conduct themselves at a high level. To conduct of the CPI firm personnel, there are several factors. First, the CPI examination, GAAS, and interpretation, continuing education requirement. Next. Next, okay. SAC, peer review, quality control, legal liability, division CPA firms, and code of professional conduct. There are two most influential factors, the PCAOB and the SAC, that is authorized to establish ethic and independent standards for auditors of public companies. Okay, next, Maria. Okay, explain the importance of ethical conduct for the accounting profession. One, the principles is the ideal standard of ethical conduct in philosophical terms. They are not enforceable. Then the rules of conduct, minimum standards of ethical conducts that are specific rules. They are enforceable. Then next, the interpretation of the rules of conduct. Interpretation of the rules of conduct by the SCPA Division of Professional Ethics. They are not enforceable, but practitioners must justify the factor. Then the ethical rulings, published explanation and answer to questions about the rules of conduct submit to the ACPA by practitioners and other interested in ethical requirement. They are not enforceable, but practitioners must justify the factor. Okay, next. Ethical principles. First, responsibilities. Professionals should exercise sensitive and moral judgment in all their activities. Second, the public interest. Members should accept the obligation to act in a way that will serve and honor the public. Then integrity. Members should perform all responsibilities with integrity to maintain public confidence. For objective and independence, members shall perform all responsibilities with integrity to maintain public confidence. 5. Due care. Members shall perform all responsibilities with integrity to maintain public confidence. 6. A scope and nature of service. A member in public practice shall observe the code of professional conduct. Next, understand Sarbanes-Oxley Act and other SAC and PCAOB independence requirement and additional factor that influence auditor independence. Independence means taking unbiased viewpoint in performing audit tests. Independent Sarbanes-Oxley Act and SAC provision addressing auditor independence. First, non-audit service. The Sarbanes-Oxley Act and the revised SAC rules further restrict but do not completely eliminate the type of non-audit service that can be provided to public health by audit clients. Next, the audit commit. Audit commit is a select number of members of a company board of directors whose responsibility includes helping auditors remain independent of management. Then, conflict arising from employment relationship. The employment of former audit team member with an audit client raise independence concern. Next, partner rotation. As required by the Sarbanes-Oxley Act and SAC independent rules require the audit and controlling audit partner to effect the audit engagement of the partner. Ownership interest. SAC rules on financial relationship that take an engagement perspective and prohibit ownership in audit client by this person who can influence the audit. The Independent Standard Board first shopping for accounting principle, engagement and payment of audit fees by management. I think that's all. The next slide will be explained by Nelson. Take your time.
Thank you, Fadil. Now I will give the time for Nelson. Nelson, the time is yours.
And LO6, Rule 101, independence. A member in public practice shall be independent in the performance of the professional service as required by the standard promulgated by bodies designated by the council. Finance interest. Interpretation of the Rule 101 prohibit convert member of front owning any direct investment in audit client, direct financial interest, indirect financial interest, and material of or immaterial. Next. Related financial interests, they have an issue there. The first one, former practitioner, normal lending procedure, financial interest and employment of immediate and close family, and then allow suite of inter to start or lawsuit between CPA firm and its client is in violation of the Rule 101 for the current audit. The interpretation permits CPA firm to do both bookkeeping and auditing for the same client. The SEC prohibits performing bookkeeping and auditing service by the same CPA firm, internal auditing and external auditing service. Unpaid fees. Rule of conduct. There is rule of conduct. The 101 independence, 102 integrity and objectivity, 201 general standard, 202 complies with the standard, 203 accounting principles, 301 confidential client information, 302 contingent fees. 501 act discreditable. 502 advertising and another form of the solicitation. 503 commission and referral fee. 505 form of organization and name. The rule of the conduct, there is explanation about the law that 101 independence, a member in the public shall be independent in the performance of the professional service and required by the standard promulgated by bodies designed by council. Integrity and objectivity. In performing any professional service, a manager shall maintain objectivity and integrity, shall be free of conflicts of interest, and shall not knowingly misrepresent, fake, or subordinate his or her judgment to another's. 201 general standard. For all service, a member shall complete with the following professional standard and interpretation thereof by bodies designated by council. 1. Undertaking only those professional service that the member can reasonably expect to complete with professional competence. 2. Exercise due professional care. 3. Adequately plan and supervise all the engagement. And 4. Obtain sufficient relevant data to afford a reasonable basis for the all conclusion or recommendations. 202 complies with the standard. A member who performs auditing, review, compilation, management, consulting, tax, or another professional service shall complete with the standard promulgated by bodies designated by council. 203 account participant. A member shall follow in the professional audit reporting standard promulgated bodies and designated by a council, and issuing report about entities complies with general accepted accounting principles. 301 confidential client information. A member in public practice shall not disclose any confidential client information about the specific concept of the client, except for a specific situation included in Rule 301, 302, and 301. 302. Contingent fees. A member in public shall not perform of contingent fee any professional service in the member also perform for the client an audit, review, or certain compilations of financial statement or an examination of the prospective financial statement. A member in the public practice should also not prepare an original or amended tax return or claim for a tax return for a contingent fee for any client. (501) as discreditable. A member shall not commit an act discreditable to the profession. 502 advertising and other form solicitation. A member in the public practice shall not seek to obtain client or another form of solicitation in a manner that is false, misleading, or deceptive. Solicitation by the using of the concealed, overseen, or harassing conduct in the prohibited. 503 commission and referral fee. A member in the practice shall not receive or pay a commission of referral fee for any client in the member also perform for the client an audit, review, or certain completion of financial statement or examination of the prospective financial statement. For non-prohibited commission or referral fee, a member must disclose the existence of the such fee to the client. 505 for of the organization and name. A member may practice public accounting only in the form of the organization permitted by the state law or regulation whose characteristics conform to regulation. Council in shall not practice public accounting under the firm name that is misleading. LO8 enforcement. Action by ICPA Professional Ethics Division, action by a State Board of Accountancy. It's all a matter for trust. The IECPA Professional Ethics Division is responsible for the investment violations of the code and deciding disciplinary action. The division investigation results from information obtained primarily from complaints of the practitioner or other individuals, state societies of CPAS, or governmental agencies. A member can be automatically sanctioned without investigation if the member has been disciplined by the government agencies or another organization that have been granted the authority to regulate accountants, such as the SEC and PCAOB. There are two primary levels of the disciplinary action. For less serious and probably unintentional violations, the division limits the discipline to the requirement of the remedial or corrective action. The second level of disciplinary action is action before the Joint Trial Board. This board has authority to suspend or expel members from the IECPA for various violations of the professional ethics. I think enough. This is my time. I give time for Maria.
Okay, thank you, Nelson. So that's all from our viewers. Thank you so much.